Khamzat Chimaev just spoke at the UFC 39 post-fight press conference after he beat Dricus du Plessis, and even after going 5 rounds, this wasn't even one of those quick finishes. He went 5 hard rounds with DDP and said tonight. He didn't say, yo, give me a second and think about it. I got to talk to my team. No, he didn't say no PR answer. He said, honestly, I'm down. And he said it very casual. I'm going to show you guys a clip in a little bit because, this gives the shade of old Khamzat, the Khamzat that we loved in the beginning that was like, yeah, I'll fight in 10 more days. I just fought, but hey, you know what? I'm doing nothing in 10 days. I'll go fight. This is the kind of attitude we definitely want to see, but it's a very different story when you're as a champion because now you're fighting the best people in the world. And if he fights in October, who could he possibly fight? Who are some names out there? I want to discuss that too later on because there are quite a lot of options. I think there's really 3 options. I'll discuss that too. Khamzat Chimaev just fought Dricus du Plessis at UFC 319, like I just said. Very, very dominant from Khamzat. I thought Dricus was going to win, but I did get a little worried. Even though I understand that video that we saw of Khamzat and Dricus du Plessis, I know that wasn't, accurate. Still, you could see, I definitely thought, I thought they would be a little more evenly sized. Hell, maybe I even thought that Dricus would be bigger than Khamzat. So when I saw them side by side, I did start to get a little bit nervous. And of course, the fight, it began as I expected. Dricus getting some takedowns and this and that. In the first round, he get his takedown and pretty much controls the whole round. Second round, the same thing, controls the round, but doesn't really get anywhere close. He doesn't really, get close to finishing at all. He's just holding down Dricus. And Dricus, I think, is just at this point hey, the best chance here, hold him, wait out the clock here, get my cardio together. Khamzat gasses out, maybe I can knock him out, or maybe win 3, 4, and 5. We get to round 3, and I was like, he needs to put it on because at this point, if he loses round 3, he's going to get a finish. Loses round 3, I'm like, wow, I feel like we're cooked here. Round 4, loses round 4, and we're talking the same thing. Khamzat taking down Dricus over and over again. And then in the 5th round, same thing, except maybe there's an argument there that DDP won the round. Honestly, I don't even know. I think I gave up scoring at that point just because of how dominant it was. But Dricus definitely did have some good moments. He hit him with a 1-2 at one point. He almost got that choke. I remember that would have been insane. If DDP, at the end of that fight, when he had that rear naked choke or, rear naked choke attempt around Khamzat, if that would have went through, if that would have locked up, that was the same submission that he got Adesanya with. If that would have gotten locked up, guys, how insane would have that been? I think they would have had to done an immediate rematch at that point. Seriously, that would have been some Anderson Silva versus Chael Sonnen right there. Overall, I think interestingly enough, we made jokes about it in the build-up. We said, oh, DDP, he's going to fall on himself, DDP, all this and that. That is what made him lose this fight. Let it not be twisted. I don't think this was an issue about strength because there were plenty of times where we saw Khamzat, there's plenty of times where we saw DDP be able to defend the takedowns of Khamzat, at least strength-wise. But what would always trip him up is, of course, Khamzat running after him. And obviously Khamzat, obviously doing everything he can to also put DDP off balance. But DDP, I don't even think he has balance. And this is coming from me. I also have no balance. So I'm not even trying to shit on DDP at all here. But this is something I think he definitely needs to work on because he's tripping over himself. There are times where I'm like, I feel like there's other fighters that wouldn't have fallen that much. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not a fighter. And like I said, I'm also the worst human to be talking about this because I'm clumsy on my day-to-day life. I'll fall on the street type shit. You know what I'm saying? As I stated, Khamzat Chimaev, he spoke out, said he's going to fight in UFC Abu Dhabi. That is currently not headlined, but presumably headlined by Tom Aspinall and Cyril Gahn. That is going to be taking place, like I said, in October. And that is, look, it's a decent amount of time. Khamzat didn't look like he took so much damage, even though it was a 5-round fight. Guys, I do want to show you guys what he has to say. And then later on, I'm going to talk about maybe some potential options. Could he be the main event? Could he be the co-main event? I think it really does depend on who he fights. So as I said, this is Khamzat Chimaev. He did a post-fight interview. Credit to the Mac Life, the goated MMA media in the sport, I gotta say. I love Mac Life. Shout out to the guys there. We're gonna watch this clip. Khamzat Chimaev gets directly asked if he is going to fight in Abu Dhabi. I was shocked by his response, guys. Let's hear it.
Do you still want to turn around and fight in Abu Dhabi?
We'll see what they say. I'm ready always, so.
He said he's ready.
Thanks, Kat.
So Khamzat says he's ready. He says he'll wait to see what they have to say. Obviously, the UFC might not offer him an opponent. This is a championship level fight, a fight that I'm sure also they want to have a lot of promotion behind. Khamzat Chimaev being a big star. Throwing him, on a random card when he's, 1-2 fights into the UFC, obviously a lot easier to do than throwing him into an usually a main event spot where Khamzat would probably be in, or even a co-main event spot, a big title shot spot, or just wherever on a card, to have that, just be short notice, to not max, maybe from the UFC's perspective, maximize the growth. Personally, I don't really believe you need so much buildup for a fight. That's just my opinion. Obviously, you can't, say the week before, but I think 2 months is more than enough time to promote a fight, a month and a half, something like that. You know what I mean? But he also gets asked about who you'd want to fight. I thought this was interesting. Let's just see what he has to say quickly.
Who do you think is the most deserving contender to challenge you for that belt first?
I don't care about these things, bro. I just, where they give the money, I fight anyone.
So, yeah, obviously, this is a pretty generic response. That's why I was like, let's quickly go over this. Anybody, which means, some fighters obviously, they're like, I don't want to fight this guy. This guy deserves a title shot. Now, Khamzat, I figured, willing to fight anybody. And at this point, he just fought the toughest guy in the division. I'm not really sure who he's afraid of at this point. I really think that Khamzat, a lot of middleweights are in trouble. I'm going to be honest, guys. And this is someone that has criticized Khamzat in the past. The middleweight division's in trouble. I mean, I really thought DDP was the only guy to beat Khamzat. And the fact that it wasn't even competitive, I mean, that's insane. I mean, first of all, how can we talk about how was this guy ever a welterweight? I mean, that's insane too. But Khamzat Chimaev says he's down to fight in Abu Dhabi. I think that there are three clear choices. I think that there's, name value. There's also who deserves it. Let's talk about the first one. I want to get into the first one because this is someone that, a lot of people are talking about. UFC Paris coming up. Kyle Brahalo versus Nasruddin Imavov. Nasruddin Imavov knocked out Adesanya. Not many people can say that. So I do think it's an interesting argument. I don't know if it would have been enough, at the end for him to get a title shot, because we have guys like RDR, which is another option. RDR, well, let me get into the first option. RDR is another option, but the first option is the winner of the UFC Paris. Don't think that fight is going to wind up happening just because, time, the fight hasn't even happened yet. So assuming they're going to be ready to fight in Abu Dhabi, we're already, on a tight schedule. So RDR, I think this is probably the front runner. This is a mix of practicality. This is the safest bet, I would probably say. The safest bet you can make. RDR is going to be ready for Abu Dhabi. Makes sense to have the fight there, and would also make sense to put that in a co-main event. I don't think Khamzat versus RDR, it's not like a huge fight. I think probably definitely in other parts of the world, probably maybe not America. Obviously, Khamzat's a massive star, but I don't know if RDR really has that, he hasn't really poked through. The Bo Nickel win was good. The Robert Whittaker win was good, and it was good that he collected those wins for himself. Don't know if he's really there, name-wise. So he potentially could get it just because he would be deserving. He could get it, hell, if it happens next year. Like, he would be deserving of a title shot. But I think the number one person that a lot of people are forgetting, someone that just talks shit on Twitter, and I don't know, I might make a separate video about this, honestly, about Khamzat and Sean Strickland, because Sean Strickland has tweeted out, I'll probably do a video tomorrow about that. He has said, that he is down to fight Khamzat, and not surprising and a little frustrating, to be honest, because Sean Strickland has been a guy that, look, a lot of people felt bad for him when he, and maybe actually, I'm going to save this for tomorrow's video. I'm going to save this for tomorrow's video because I don't want to get too much into Sean Strickland, but he is a possibility. I don't think it'll happen, only because if you've seen the videos of Sean Strickland lately, the guy does not look his best right now. I don't know what's going on with him. I think I'm going to get into that in tomorrow's video, what I think is going on with Sean Strickland. I don't mean to edge you guys, but seriously, it's going to come out. It's going to be worth it. I want to do more of a full video on that. But I think it's possible. Sean Strickland, I think, could definitely get motivated and say, hey, I'm getting an immediate title shot after losing a fight. Hell yeah, I'll fight. But Sean Strickland is the best by name. They have some sort of backstory. Paulo Costa is actually also up there, someone that I didn't even discuss. There's also Anthony Hernandez saying that he would be down to fight Khamzat Chimaev. That's obviously a fight that would also make sense, guys. I'm not going to lie. I almost forgot about him, but he just won last weekend, and I think that would make sense. I actually would like to see that fight. I think stylistically, Anthony Hernandez brings probably the most interesting challenge outside of maybe RDR. You know what I mean? I don't know. I could see them giving it to Sean Strickland anyway. I mean, look, he's fought for the belt multiple times. He's a bit, one of the bigger names you could possibly give it to. It would not make sense, and this isn't me endorsing a Sean Strickland title shot, but Sean Strickland's out here tweeting about it. I wouldn't be surprised when it's short notice like this. Like, look, if I'm not sitting here saying Sean Strickland's going to get a title shot next year. Don't think that's going to happen. But if this is a situation where we need someone for Abu Dhabi and Khamzat's looking and the UFC have nobody and they're really wanting to make a fight, that is where we can see the fight happen, guys. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, guys. I enjoy talking to you guys. Check out tomorrow's video where we talk about Sean Strickland, guys. You guys are the best fan base in MMA. Hit the subscribe button, like, comment, and share. And I'll see you guys in the next one.